thanks for watching. Thanks for clicking on this video. We're going to talk about the 4 groups of fat, what they are, and where you can find them when living the ketogenic lifestyle.
Hi, I'm Scott.
I'm Allison. Chloe's here. She'll be around here somewhere.
And
we're living life with the bully.
bully.
Like I said, thanks for watching. So what we're going to do is talk about the 4 main groups of fats. Now there are lots of different types of fats. You can get into different subcategories, but there are basically 4 main groups of fats. They fall under monounsaturated, polyunsaturated,
Trans fat.
and saturated fats. Some fats are better than others, and there are some fats that we completely stay away from. With the ketogenic diet, our macros are adjusted to where we eat 75% fat, 20% protein, and only 5% of our calories comes from carbs. So one of the things that we see a lot, one of the questions is, where do you get all that fat from?
Right there.
Right here. I think it's the mindset that everything that's available is so carb centric, so glucose centered, around that burning glucose as fuel. It's hard to imagine getting 75% of your calories from fat. Well, I want to be honest, this is the second time we shot this video, because the first time we sat down in our chairs like we usually do and talked about it, but I thought about it. I kind of wanted to show that there are lots of sources of fat in our diet. You just gotta know where to look, I think. One thing about fats real quick, like anything else, like any other nutrient in our diet, they don't exist in a vacuum. So any source of fat is going to have more than one type of fat in it, or it may have more than one type of fat. The fat sources that we're talking about are where the fat content is highest for one particular type of fat. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, so we're going to go in order from the types of fats that are better for us to eat down to the one type of fat that we just completely stay away from. So we're going to start with monounsaturated fats, which we have right here. So we have avocados, great source of monounsaturated fat. We have extra virgin olive oil, which we usually go through by the gallon. Avocado oil. Apparently we forgot one. Ooh, olives. Okay, so then we have olives and pecans and almonds, all great sources of monounsaturated fat. Now granted, things like some brands of olives, almonds and pecans do have carbohydrates in them, as well as being a great source of fat. But as long as at the end of the day our macros balance out properly, these fit into our diet quite nicely. Plus the fiber is always good. So then let's move on to saturated fats. I know that's a little weird for people to hear that that's our second source of fats. What we want is a balance of saturated fats with monounsaturated fats. But saturated fats are actually pretty great to eat. They're good to cook with. I know that people who, like, if you're afraid of your cholesterol levels or anything like that, then saturated fats that's kind of a bad word, but for us they're actually really good to eat because of the type of fats we eat, because of the ketogenic lifestyle. So saturated fat sources is going to be something like Kerrygold butter made from grass-fed pastured cows. That's important when eating any animal product is that they be grass-fed, grass-finished, pastured animals, because grain is really not their natural diet. So they do better, they thrive better, they produce better quality products whenever they're given their natural diet, like grass. We also have coconut oil. Coconut oil is kind of a funny thing. It's usually solid at room temperature, but it's a little warm today and it's quite humid, so this is liquid right now. But it is usually solid. And then we have MCT oil.
And more MCT oil.
And more MCT
What
oil.
you want?
Yeah. This is 14 grams of saturated fat per tablespoon. I'll tell you, I like to put MCT oil with a tablespoon of butter in my morning coffee. Super great. With a little bit of stevia, it's awesome. Gives me energy. It's like a stick of dynamite that goes off, and I get so much energy from it. Again, we have butter here, soft spread from when we eat breads. I know that sounds odd, but we do eat breads. We have specific recipes that we make our own breads that have low carb counts. We don't have any right now, but these are great for those muffin and bread recipes. And this is a soft spread Kerrygold butter. Now, it's important to separate this from something like margarine. This is pure butter. So, and then other sources, you have cheese, lots and lots of cheese, dairy products, sour cream, and we're not talking about low-fat sour cream or low-fat dairy products. We're talking about full-fat dairy products, because low-fat tends to have sugar in it. We want to avoid that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stay away from the carbs.
Stay away from the carbs. Stay away from the sugar. We have coconut butter, which is different from coconut oil. It's coconut butter. We also have ghee butter. This is lactose-free, made with Himalayan pink salt. We have full-fat coconut cream, great for baking, and bacon fat.
Left over from frying bacon.
Yeah, we fry bacon and then put the bacon fat in here, and then it hardens up. Bacon is also a good source of fat, has lots of fat on it, but that's not something you want to eat like piles of every day. That's just one of those things. Again, you want to balance it out to a healthy amount. Now let's move on to polyunsaturated fats. Polyunsaturated fats are third on our list because there's kind of a question mark around them. There are some polyunsaturated fats that we completely stay away from, like sunflower, corn, and soybean oil. Soybean oil is a big thing because most dressings, do we have dressing? Most dressings, even something that sounds healthy like a red wine vinaigrette, will have as one of its first ingredients soybean oil in it. So it's kind of something that we prefer. I mean, I guess it's okay, but it's not really that great. So
We try to avoid it.
we try to avoid soybean oil to begin with. But like I said, even though we stay away from those sources of polyunsaturated fats, there are some sources that are quite healthy for you. That's hence the question marks around polyunsaturated fats. Because we have things like flaxseed or flaxseed meal that are high in polyunsaturated fats. And then we have chia seeds, which we know are healthy for us. And then we have fish, especially wild caught fish like salmon. And yes, this is a frozen. You can get fish frozen and use as you like. But fish, which coincidentally are also high in omega-6 and I think I stepped on her ear. Which coincidentally are also high in omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. The two fatty acids that are essential for us to eat because our bodies can't produce them. So we have fish, and then we also have walnuts. Great source of polyunsaturated fats. So again, there's a question mark around those as a general rule because some we stay away from, but some we actually need in our diet because they're healthy for us. And then let's talk about trans fats. This is the one fat that we stay.
Let's not talk about trans fat. Let's run away.
And he's gone. Trans fats we stay away from. What you're going to notice is that there is no margarine on this table. There is no canola oil.
No vegetable oil.
No
in this
vegetable
house.
oil, like none of that. No hydrogenated oils either. We stay away from those.
No partially hydrogenated.
And no IEs, because they're just bad in general. So we stay away from those. But we have 3 great types of fats here: monounsaturated, saturated, and polyunsaturated fats that we do eat, and then one that we completely stay away from. And then again with polyunsaturated fats, some of those we stay away from. With monounsaturated fats, these are good to go on top of foods just cold. We put olive oil or avocado oil on our salads. We eat the avocados raw, the pecans and the almonds raw, the olives raw. But when we cook with oils, we tend to cook with butter or coconut oil because their smoke point is much higher, and they just sustain better in those heated conditions. There are sources of fat where protein is higher, so like meats. So we have here grass-fed ground beef, and we have here free-range chicken. Notice that these are chicken legs, not chicken breasts, right? Because we want the dark meats. We want the grass-fed pastured red meats. And then with meat also we want the salmon. And with fish we want to eat salmon or trout because those are fatty fish. Or when we say that we eat fish, because they're a good source of polyunsaturated fat, those omega-6s and omega-3s, we're not talking about cod or halibut, we're talking about salmon or trout.
You mean fish sticks from Long John Silver's?
No, there's not nearly enough fat in those to justify eating them. Plus you don't really want the breading.
Or they were fried in.
Yeah, the trans fats they were fried in.
So you don't want any of it.
Yeah, we don't want any of those. Alright guys, that's it for us. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, leave us a thumbs up. While you're here, go ahead and click subscribe. And check the links in the description below. We've included our links for our social media where you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. And we also have some awesome new links in there for brute force training sandbags and I can't really say it.
Keto AF.
Keto AF. So, thanks for watching and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.